Kia ora everybody. My name is Rachel and I'm the In-Market Director for New Zealand. It's been just 18 months in my role now. It's a real pleasure to be back here in Brisbane to share some insights with you all today. So I'm going to dive straight into performance. So I'm pleased to share that Queensland welcomed a record 496 visitors in the year ending September 2025. That was an improvement of 3% year on year. We're really close to that 500,000 number. And New Zealand remains the #1 international market for visitation. So overall growth is being driven by an increase in VFR for travel to Queensland, and you'll see that there has been a slight decline in holiday visitation. Importantly though, we are still seeing record levels of spend across both holiday and VFR. Specifically for Brisbane, we welcomed 242,000 visitors from New Zealand, and whilst this appears to be less visitors, or slightly less visitors than last year, what we're seeing is a change of behaviour which is likely driven by the increase in aviation connectivity to the regions. So where travellers may have visited to 2 regions in southeast Queensland previously, they're now just visiting 1. Visitation to southeast Queensland remains positive at just over 1%. So for Brisbane, we also saw an increase in visitor nights of 6% for that same period. So this wouldn't be possible without our aviation partners, and in 2026 there will be an additional 13% more seats flying across the Tasman into Queensland from New Zealand compared to last year. That's quite significant in terms of seats into Queensland, given that we've got such a large base that we're working from. So the additional capacity that we'll have in the market this year will include Air New Zealand's announcement that they made at the end of last year, which will see an increase in capacity from Auckland, Wellington and Christchurch into Brisbane, as well as introduction of a seasonal service from Queenstown to Brisbane. And also the announcement from Qantas that from June, they will commence flying from Auckland to the Gold Coast. The service will operate 3 times a week and includes business class for the first time into the Gold Coast from New Zealand. New Zealand remains really well connected to Brisbane and into Queensland. So just heading into a little bit about the conditions in New Zealand. So from an economic perspective, we're starting to see some optimism in New Zealand. I will say that that is moderate and it probably depends on where in the country you come from. Our recovery is starting to slowly happen, however, it is going to continue to be slow. Despite that though, obviously we are still seeing that the Kiwis are prioritising spending their money on holidays and travel. So I guess it's interesting just to have a look at where our Kiwis are travelling and what their travel behaviours are. So Fiji, who is one of our largest competitors, has become really expensive and seen as overpriced. They're seeing a decline in visitation of 3%, where we're seeing a lift in visitation year on year. So what we're saying is that travel is driven by an increased desire to spend time with their loved ones, for new experiences and to attend events that you can't get at home. At the same time, Kiwis are becoming more deliberate in how they spend, with a stronger focus on value. Interestingly though, luxury is also selling well. So where travellers feel like they are getting value for what they spend. So when we take into consideration our performance, aviation growth of 13%, the market insights, our strategic priorities are really clear. First of all, we need to keep the Queensland regions top of mind. So when Kiwis are considering their next holiday, the regions of Queensland are front and centre. Second, we need to broaden the destination stories. We want to attract first-time visitors, and we also want to give those visitors that already love Queensland new reasons to return. Our third priority is to retain all of the aviation growth that we've had in market and to build long-term sustainable markets. Our final priority is to focus on education for the trade partners, favouring that over co-op partnerships, ensuring that they are equipped to convert new demand. So how are we going to bring that to life? So in June last year, we launched that holiday feeling in New Zealand. At the completion of this activity, we ran consumer research. This research identified that an estimated 335,000 people took some form of action towards taking a holiday to Queensland after seeing the campaign. An estimated 54,000 people booked a holiday. These results are well above the tourism norm and demonstrates to us that the holiday feeling is effective in driving action in New Zealand. So we've continued that activity through a maintenance media schedule. And earlier this week, we refreshed the assets for the holiday feeling, and this activity is live in New Zealand again with a similar level of spend as to what we had from the initial burst. That holiday feeling allows us to keep the Queensland regions top of mind while Kiwis are considering their winter escape. While visitation to Brisbane for New Zealand is high, the research highlighted that 69% of people have an awareness of the destination. There is still a huge opportunity to increase the knowledge for Kiwis about what a holiday in Brisbane entails. So that leads into our second priority, which is broadening the story, destination stories for the region. So this year we'll do this through a content partnership with Stuff. Stuff is a leading news outlet in New Zealand and the #1 travel site for New Zealand. The partnership with Stuff will allow us to blend editorial and a paid sponsorship. It enables us to tell the news stories for the regions through the trusted voices of the Stuff travel team. And to encourage consumers to start planning, we have a paid content hub labelled Queensland Reimagined, which showcases a different side to the regions, introducing planning tools such as a map and AI chatbots. Each fortnight will spotlight a new region over a 16-week period. Each spotlight will include a social video, display placements, and new articles through digital and print channels. Flight Centre will also be the conversion partner, and we will have packages and market to align to the regions and to help us tell the story. So this takes us to our third priority, developing long-term sustainable aviation routes. We continue to partner with Jetstar on the four new routes. At the end of last year, we included a Queensland Sale in October. This had really strong results with an uplift in bookings of 55% versus the week prior. We'll continue to work with Jetstar on awareness and conversion to support those four new routes. I spoke earlier about the additional capacity for Qantas in Air New Zealand. Through the Connecting Queensland Fund, we are also working with both of these airlines to make sure that we've got the right activity and plans in place to support the growth of capacity and to ensure that we retain that flying long term. And our final priority is to focus on trade education over co-op. With the focus on telling deeper stories for to the consumers, it's really important that we also keep our trade up to date in terms of what the region has to offer, so that they are equipped to convert consumers as they walk in the door. I won't cover all of the detail, as Claire has covered that much in the past. So how can you support? So firstly, I'd say that we're really grateful for the support that we do get in New Zealand. We do get considerable support in New Zealand from the industry, so thank you for that. Further opportunities, if you are interested in New Zealand, are Queensland is Calling when it is back next year. We have it in March, but that's fully subscribed for this year. And for where possible, we ask that you support our trade and media for Mills. The more support that we have allows us to do more storytelling on behalf of the region. Thank you to everyone who is already supportive in the room. And with that, I'm going to hand over to the lovely Cassie.